evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. I'm Papa Boris, and I'm here playing a new game, Chronicle RuneScape Legends. This game isn't just new to me; it's actually pretty new. It wasn't that long that it came out of closed beta, and open beta. And this game, when you first see it, you're gonna think, oh, somebody ripped off Hearthstone, because superficially, it has a lot in common with Hearthstone. It's a game where you make a deck out of 30 cards, and you play against an opponent, and they have 30 life, and you have 30 life, and the object is to kill them, and it's a collectible card game. Superficially, it has a lot in common with Hearthstone. It's even got the whole like look down where it's like you're browsing a book and stuff. But the gameplay is actually really different. Now, I'm someone who played Hearthstone for a couple of years. I played Magic before that. I thought after Hearthstone, there's no way that I'm ever going to get into another collectible card game. But this game is truly original. I really enjoy it. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how it works, show you what's new about it, and it'll help you see if this is the kind of game you want to get into. As a quick aside, it does have a really good free-to-play model. It's very generous. It's easy to get going as a free-to-play player. So I recommend this game a lot. Let's go ahead and jump into one just so we can see how it works. I'm going to play against an AI, a really easy one, just so that I don't have to go too quickly in explaining things. So here we're going to go ahead and jump into a game versus the computer. So you build a deck out of 30 cards, just like in Hearthstone and many other CCGs, and your objective is to kill your opponent. You and your opponent each have 30 life. At the start of the game, you draw 6 cards, and the first player has a slight advantage. Looks like I rolled first here. The second player is at a slight disadvantage, so the second player gets an extra card to compensate. Again, just like in Hearthstone. Mulligans work like in Hearthstone, in that when you see your opening hand, you can choose to get rid of any of the cards, and they will be replaced with cards from your deck. And then once you're done with that, game begins. Okay, so how is this game different from Hearthstone? Well, you can kind of tell already it's a little bit different than your typical CCG. We don't have like a table where we play stuff. In most CCGs, really every CCG I've ever heard of, when you play a creature, that creature attacks your opponent. In this game, creatures attack you. So it's almost like you and your opponent are playing an RPG in parallel, where like I'm going to put down creatures and I'm going to encounter them from left to right in the order that I lay them out, and as I encounter each creature, I'm going to fight it. So each creature has stats. In the upper left is how hard the creature hits, and the upper right is how much health the creature has. On the bottom, you see the rewards you get for beating that creature. So this creature, for example, gives me 1 gold and 1 armor as a reward. Some creatures also have text, which is stuff that happens if you defeat the creature. So for example, this creature, if I defeat it, deals 2 damage to my rival. This creature, if I defeat it, gives me 1 card. At the bottom of the screen, you see the stats for your hero. So this number, which is on fire, this is your base attack. This is how much damage you deal to creatures. The number in the middle is how much gold you have, and of course, this is your health. You'll notice there are 2 empty cups here. This is a cup that can hold your weapon. So if you pick up a weapon somehow, that's where it will go. Weapons work like in Hearthstone, in that it has an attack and a durability. Durability is how many times you can swing with the weapon before it disappears, and then the attack is essentially added to your base attack, to determine how much damage you deal when you swing at something. Over here is where your armor will go. So I'm going to lay out up to 40 cards. Well, basically, you and your opponent each lay out up to up to 4 cards. And once one person finishes and hits the play button, the other person has like a limited amount of time. I haven't counted it. It's like 30 or 45 seconds or so to finish laying out their cards, or else they run out of time. So that's like a neat little twist to the CCG paradigm. Basically, as long as you and your opponent are both thinking, you have unlimited amounts of time. But once one player commits, the other player has to get the job done quickly. When you encounter a monster, you hit first. So any monster typically at the beginning of the game that has only 2 hit points is basically a free kill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click play because I'm playing against the computer, so it'll happen instantaneously. The first player always encounters their cards first. So I go and encounter my first card, then my opponent goes and encounters her first card. And then I go and I encounter my second card, and my opponent goes and encounters her second card, and so on. And so that's always the case. So that's the advantage of being the first player. Like if you're about to deal fatal damage and your opponent plays a healing card, if you're the first player, you'll get the damage in before the opponent can heal. If you are the second player, you'll die before you can heal. Now the second player does have some advantages too, namely the starting extra card sometimes matters. You know, if it doesn't come down to like an instant moment where it's like I kill you at the same time as you heal yourself, if that kind of thing never happens, then you just get a free extra card compared to the first player. There are also some more subtle advantages to being the second player in some certain situations that I won't get into right now. So once both players have encountered their cards, we move on to the next chapter. The games of RuneScape Legends are actually really quick. There are only a total of 5 chapters. And at the end of the 5th chapter, if both of you are alive, then you just whack each other until one of you dies. And the first player gets in the first whack. So that's another advantage to being first. Now, so far I've just talked about monster cards. There are also support cards. So there's 2 types of cards in this game. There's the monsters and the support. Supports have a cost in the upper left-hand corner. This is how much gold you have to pay in order to get that support card. And some, like this one, are, free. And they also have text, which tells you what you get. Some of them don't have any text, but they just have effects on the bottom. So, like, if I pay for the stamina potion, I heal 7 health, and I get +1 to my base attack. If I pay 7 gold for this Saradomin God Sword, I get a 7/2 weapon, and I heal for 4. You cannot heal above your maximum health, which is 30. So here, let's say, I want to get fancy. So I'm going to play the Monolith Chamber. It removes 3 armor, and it removes 4 health from the next creature. Note that remove means it goes away if you have it, and if you don't have it, no big deal. Some cards will say spend. Spend means you have to have that thing in order to get the benefit. So if this said spend 3 armor, it wouldn't do me any good. But because it's remove 3 armor, I'm going to play it. It removes 4 health from the next creature, so I'm going to go ahead and have it remove 4 health from this wolf. If I were to attack this wolf normally, because it has 4 health, it would whack me for 3 damage. But because I'm going to remove 4 health from it, it's going to have 0 health, essentially, and I get to kill this wolf for free, which is great, because I get to draw 2 cards, take some damage, and then I also get 2 coins. We'll go ahead and also, play the Scorpion to pound our rival a little bit. And then we'll pass. You don't have to play all 4 of your cards if you don't want to. You can play 3 cards or 2, or heck, you can even play 0 if you want. So that's part of the strategy. Obviously, you'd like to always play your cards, but you do not have to, and sometimes it's actually correct to hold off on playing certain cards. All right, my opponent's getting a card and some gold. You can see hand sizes, so my opponent has 6 cards. I have 4 cards at the moment. Now I'm up to 6 because I got 2 cards from killing this wolf. And my opponent's just getting some gold right now. She's used the last tick of her weapon. So you can basically see how this game goes. And you can also see why this is faster than Hearthstone. Like in Hearthstone, the average game is probably close to 10 minutes, maybe 7 or 8. In this game, a game like it cannot possibly go longer than 10 minutes. Because you can see how fast the chapters are, and there's only 5 of them. So you're in, you're out. And that's part of what makes this such a good game for a free-to-play player. It's the fact that you don't need to play that many games to finish your daily quests. And I find that to be a really enticing aspect of the game. Okay, so I'm not necessarily going to make the best plays here, but we'll just make some plays to illustrate some of the kind of thinking that you might do in this game. So what I'll do here is I'm going to pop a stamina potion first. Even though I'm wasting some of the healing, I only heal for 5 instead of the full 7, just for illustration's sake, we'll do it. Once I do this, I'm going to have a base attack of 3, which means that I'm going to be able to kill this guy without getting hit, and I'll deal 4 damage to my rival. Then I'm going to kill this barbarian warrior, who also has a health of 3, which again I'll be capable of dealing with after I've had my stamina potion. This guy's going to give me a 2/3 weapon. So you kind of have to think in this game, you have to think ahead to what's going to happen as you lay out your cards, and order matters quite a bit. So after I kill this guy, I'm going to have a 2/3 weapon. My attack is going to be 5. 2 for what it starts out, plus 1 from what I'm going to get from the stamina potion, plus 2 from the weapon. And once my attack is 5, I'll be able to kill this thing, which gives me armor equal to my rival's total attack, plus also 4 armor and a gold. So I'm trying to build up, a lot of health here, and also get some attack power in the form of the weapon while I'm at it. In this game, deck building is very tricky because you have to balance your support cards and your monster cards. So you need gold, but if you get a lot of gold and don't have any support cards, your gold's not going to do anything for you. Conversely, if you have a whole bunch of support cards but you can't afford them, then that's bad too. So you have to balance your support cards with your monster cards, and of course any other types of combos that you might have, you might be trying to pull off. As you can imagine, like any CCG, there's your combos and card synergies and so on. So you have to balance that against the fundamental balancing act of monsters versus support. So I'm going to get 4 armor from the creature plus another 4 armor because my rival's total attack is 4. So I'm sitting very pretty here with 30 health and 8 armor. This is the first character that you unlock, by the way, that I'm playing as. He's called the Raptor. His specialty is getting lots and lots of armor. So we're in the, I think, yeah, we're in the 4th chapter here. So we're gonna, I don't know, it's maybe possible that I can actually kill my rival here. But I think we'll just, for illustration's purposes, we'll go all the way to the end, just so you can see how things might play out. So why don't we kill another wolf for some more cards, and we'll kill this guy for some money. We'll deal some damage, and then when our weapon's going to be all used up, so we'll be able to play this guy, remove weapon, and get 3 gold. So this is a really, like, it's a basic card. Basically, if you have a weapon, you have to lose it, but as long as you don't have a weapon, you just get 3 free gold, which is pretty good. In this game, the cards are actually quite interesting. So the basic cards you have tend to be sort of your bread and butter types of cards, you know, just monsters like this skeleton warrior that just give gold, or basic weapons, or cards like this that give you money. A lot of the cards you find in packs are pretty specialized, so it's not necessarily a case where someone who has opened more packs is going to do better than you, because you really have to open a lot of packs before you, like, get, you know, extra synergies and stuff. And I was able to, this game has a tier rank in ranked. The ranked mode is quite different from Hearthstone's. It's sort of like, actually closer to StarCraft, where there are like leagues. So you start in Bronze League, and then you can go to Silver League and then Gold League. So I was able to make it to Gold League just, you know, by tweaking my deck with the basic cards and a few packs that I opened, and not needing like a $50 bajillion collection to feel like I have to be competitive. Probably in Gold League, I'm going to hold off on trying to progress forward. Probably going to start playing the dungeon mode, which is the equivalent to Hearthstone's arena, and just collect packs that way over a long period of time, just like I did in Hearthstone. Anyway, I think we will be able to just go ahead and kill our opponent. It seems that that is going to be a possibility here. But basically, if you don't kill your opponent, if both people are alive in 5 chapters, after the end of 5 chapters, then the first player whacks the second player using their base attack and a weapon if they have it. Then the second player hits the first player. Then the first player hits the second player, and the second player hits the first player, and you do that over and over until one of you dies. But here, I think we're going to be able to get the kill unless she pops in some healing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kill this Troll Chucker, who deals 4 damage, so her health will go down to 8. And then I'm going to go ahead and equip this Dragon Longsword, which will increase my attack to 8 total. And I'm going to take on this Undead Dragon. So this is a huge beastie. It hits super hard, has a ton of health, but has a really big effect. Remove 10 health from rival. When you remove health, it goes past armor. So even if my opponent had a bajillion armor, this would basically be the killing blow, because I'm going to deal 4 damage here and then another 10 for a total of 14. Now, it's possible that my opponent will, in fact, heal up and survive this onslaught, so we're going to go ahead and then get the Serotonin God Sword here at the end to beef up my attack to 7 plus 3, which is 10, so I'll whack her to death in the finale if she somehow manages to survive my onslaught here. It looks like my opponent, in typical mage fashion, is more interested in attacking me than in preventing herself from certain doom. She has one more chance to heal herself here. And she takes it! Oh, we're going to go to the end. This is fantastic. So this is the basic healing card, 2 gold for 7 health. So she goes up to 15 health just in the nick of time. So we're going to kill this undead dragon. And I will take some damage in the process. I get hit once for 6. And now she goes down to 5 hit points. But I'm going to heal back up to full with my Serotonin God Sword. And yes, I know that's not what it's actually called. So we both have a weapon going into the final battle, but she has a lot less health than I do, and in fact, I'm going to whack her in 1 hit. So you can see, in this case, it doesn't matter who's first. I would have won this fight regardless of whether I was first or second. But because, so in this case, you know, she being the second player just had an extra card, and I didn't really get any reward out of it. So first is not necessarily, like, basically I'll say first is not overpowered compared to second. In fact, the developers released statistics showing that over like tens of thousands of games, like the win rate is like exactly 50% for first and second players. So yeah, that's the game. That's how you play it. I'll do separate videos of gameplay. I just realized I had the sound off for all this, so there is sound. Also, the graphics are not this ugly. I just have a shitty laptop, so I'm playing on the lowest settings. But yeah, I'll do another video to explain like the free-to-play model and how it compares to Hearthstone's. TLDR version is that it's better than Hearthstone's for a free-to-play player. I guess it kind of has to be, or else nobody would play this game. And then we'll also do another video where I just, play against a real human being. And after that, it's going to be mostly dungeon modes. So there's this mode called Dungeoneering, which is the equivalent of Hearthstone's Arena, and we'll be doing that a fair bit on this channel, I'd say. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and/or subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Take care, everyone.